ready?
Herb and Rodg podcast. It is one of our pop-up shows, but not one of our happier ones, not one of our more fun ones.
Right.
It's literally what the subject says. Rodg discusses Tua. He
Yep.
had talked about wanting to do one last night after the game. Everything happened. But wanted a few more minutes than the minute that the short would give him. So wanted a chance to vent. So we will say hello to a couple people real quick and then get right into Rodg. Yep. What's up, Randy? Good to see you.
Randy.
Here. Yep. Big Mike, the man
Mike,
behind the scenes that basically makes everything go. We appreciate you, Mike.
Appreciate you, Mike.
So thanks, Randy. We always appreciate you. Nah. Just a little chance setting up. So, and Mike, basically, we're lost without you. That's why.
Yeah.
So I don't even know where you want to start. Everyone knows you're talking about Tua. So you kind of have to go through the game. The game was already going. It was already a bad night. It was a really bad night. And I don't know if that plays into, but it's a 4th and 4 play.
Right.
Not a design run, because I don't think they ever do that with Tua anymore.
No.
Scrambles up the middle. When you look at the hit, and somebody actually pointed out to me, Damar Hamlin, ironically, the person who hits him, but there was nothing on his part.
Nothing malicious.
What I mean? Yeah, nothing malicious. It looked like maybe one that you see, 1,000 times. It is football, but at the same time, with it being Tua, there's extra things. So, Raj, why don't you just kind of take us through emotions of the night leading up to the hit and then after the hit?
Emotionally, I was already frustrated and angry at the way that the game had been going. We were getting beat down pretty bad. Tua had thrown 3 interceptions. The first one looks like he just underthrew his receiver. Defender got a hand on it, popped it to another player. Interception. Second one was either overthrown or ran the wrong route or stopped running the route. Regardless, it looked like ball was overthrown. The last one, which was the worst one, was Tua was scrambling, should have just thrown the ball away. It looked like from my perspective from television set, it looked like he was throwing the ball out of bounds, but he didn't throw it high or far enough. And defender gets it, pick 6, runs it back. So, I was already pissed off, but so many bad things that happened offensively that I knew we were going to lose the game. And I was like, okay, well, let's just take the L, bounce back 2 weeks on the 22nd when we go to Seattle, get the win. We'll be 2-1. We'll be okay. But coming to the play, again, you mentioned it was 4th and 4. Tua dropped back, looks right in the middle. It looks, he was wide open. He had field. He had enough yards to get. He runs it right up the middle. Gets about 6-7 yards maybe, and I don't see him sliding or even attempting to slide. He ends up getting tackled by Damar Hamlin. As you mentioned, it wasn't a hard tackle, it wasn't a rough tackle, it was a natural tackle. He basically slammed his head into the rib cage area of Damar Hamlin, which made it popped up a little bit. He goes down, and you see his fingers do the thing that happened when during one of his concussions back in 2022. And that's when you knew it was bad. And you also knew it was bad because he went down and he was down for a little bit. And you're hoping for the best. You're hoping maybe he just got the wind knocked out of him or something like that. But once you see his fingers kind of cave in, you knew it was the worst. And this is the one thing that we did not want to see happen to Tua. You don't want to see that happen to any player, to be honest with you.
Right.
Tua specifically in this case because of his recent history as far as being injured. So once this happens, everybody, players go down on a knee. And again, since this happened to Tua before, I think a lot of people knew what was going on. It was sad to see, very, very unfortunate. And I think I watched Skylar Thompson come in. We went for it on 4th down. He got sacked. After he got sacked, I just turned it off. I said, I don't want to watch anymore. I'm good. Didn't watch the rest of the game. We lost 31-10. It is what it is. So.
Where do you want to kind of talk? So Mike's point right here with another. This is the 3rd concussion. Did have a healthy year last year, so it was 2 years ago we had those 2 that kind of knocked him out for the whole season.
Right.
Jump right into this one. A lot of former players now. Let's talk about Tua should retire after so many concussions. It makes him sad that it's getting harder to not agree with him. Unfortunately,
right.
Obviously, we're not on the inside. So we can't speak to what the experts are saying, what they're saying. But like as from the outside view, like what is your view on this? I mean, 3 concussions, that's tough, Rodg. And every time you get one, you're more susceptible to one in the future.
Yep.
What do you do if you're Tua at this point?
So I'll go back to 2022 after the second concussion, and I know a lot of people back then were saying, okay, he's got to retire. You know, he can't keep doing this to his body, etc. I was on the other side. I said he'll bounce back. He'll get healthy. This won't happen again. Luckily for 2023, he had a really, really good year, stayed healthy, you know, threw for about almost 4,400 yards, etc. Pro Bowl season. But after seeing it last night, I'm now under the umbrella of I don't think he can avoid getting any more concussions. So by that, I mean, like, if he was to, after he passes concussion protocol, whatever, and he actually wanted to play again, and the team, you know, actually allowed that, he's probably going to get another concussion because he's just so injury prone. And if it's not a concussion, something else is going to happen, because both Herb and I know this, and Bama fans know this. Going back to Tua's Alabama days, Tua can be a little reckless. He doesn't want to give up on the play. He doesn't want to run out of bounds. He doesn't want to slide. He wants to try to force something to happen. So he's going to get hurt again. My recommendation is, yes, Tua retires. He just got some guaranteed money. I understand he's only 26, and I get it. He got some guaranteed money. Save your money. Do whatever you have to do to make it work, to stretch it out as long as you can. But he needs to retire. Again, he's only 26 years old, and this is going to happen again. I don't want to see him with a fourth concussion, because we all know from recent years' history, and just old NFL players after they retire, you know, they mention that they have CTE, things like that, and they suffer concussions while playing, and you don't want to see that happen to Tua. 3 concussions within 2 years. You're only 26 years old. You need to retire. Yeah. That's my opinion. Yeah. Now I'm going to take you from what I think Tua is thinking, and what a lot of athletes at his age would be thinking. They're probably under the mentality of, come on, guys, let me come back. I'm going to bounce back. You know, this won't happen again. I'm still young. You know, I've been playing football all my life, blah, 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 blah. That's probably what he wants to play again. I'm sure he does. And again, a lot of athletes, if you get injured, your next thing is thinking is, you know, when can I come back? That's what Tua is thinking.
Yeah.
Now, the organization is probably thinking that's where the conundrum is. What is the organization going to do? Are they going to allow him to play? Obviously, I just stated my opinion. I don't want him playing anymore, but Tua wants to play. They also have to think, what are our other options? Who else is out there? Who else is available to play? Who else can we get? Obviously, Skylar Thompson is probably going to start when you go to Seattle. But you can only imagine that the organization has been thinking about who else is free. I know Tannehill's still out there. He mentioned about a week or two ago, like, he's willing to play if it's the right fit. I don't know if this is the perfect fit for him, but you've got weapons. Another thing, one name that came to mind immediately was Tom Brady. I know that might sound kind of strange. I get it. He's retired, but I guarantee you, Tom Brady still has an itch for football, and he still thinks he can get on the field. He's familiar with the AFC East. He's got all the weapons. You've got the receiving core. You've got You've got a really, really good deep running back room. Obviously, we need some help on the defense a little bit. But if Tom Brady was to walk in there and actually do it, I think they could win some games. Again, that's just me just throwing some names out there. If they aren't to pick up anybody else, you look at the 2025 draft. Miami does have a first-round pick, but I just don't know where that pick's going to land. Things could change throughout the season, and then I don't know which quarterbacks are going to be available. And then, do you want a rookie quarterback coming in? Yeah, if you bring a rookie quarterback coming in, they do invest and inherit a really, really good offense. Right. But Miami is a team who's paid out some money. This team is built to win now, so Miami doesn't want to go through a rebuild phase. You see what I'm saying? They want to win now. They want to get the QB to win now, and only time will tell what's going to happen.
I agree, Rose. Let's get to very well said. I just say also very well said. Yeah, and I can tell it's heartfelt. It's like the football part of you wants to say one thing, but like the part of you that's, you know, worried about his career and his health wants to say another. So back to this one, prayers to and his family. Appreciate that. You know, DeMar Hamlin, and to further state what you said, that wasn't even really a hit. You know, Tua was kind of the aggressor in that. DeMar Hamlin just happened to be the guy standing there. And I know he feels awful.
He feels awful.
What happened. Yep. So, And here's another vote on the retirement. Like I said, it is up to Tua. He is a young man.
Yeah.
I imagine he's going to try to come back, but
Yeah,
it's kind of what like Randy
well,
says here.
That's the thing. Tua's probably going to talk to his family, and I'm hoping his family gives him, they'll probably tell him what he needs to hear. Like, listen, man, we want to see you healthy after your career of football. The best thing to do for Tua is retire, but ultimately it is going to come down to Tua. If there's an option for him to continue to play, you can only imagine that he's going to want to play. And then, of course, that'll be up to Miami to see what type of restrictions they put on him. I even saw someone mention something like he should have been wearing that new the new concussion helmet, the padded helmet that they have. But
to finish Randy's thought, he was like, it should be. And then James, your buddy, comes on here and talks about could he wear one of those? Yeah, I believe they're available to everybody. Yeah. I honestly think, and this is not stabbing anybody, but I think people's pride gets in the way, and that's why you don't see people wearing them.
And the thing about that is, even if he wears the helmet with the style of football that Tua plays, I feel like he's still going to get injured somehow, whether it's a concussion or something else, because he does play somewhat recklessly. And that goes back to, you remember the Mississippi State game where we were up, I don't even recall the score, but we were up in a pretty good margin. He runs out to the left and stretches that play out for much longer than it should have been. Didn't throw the ball away, ends up getting tackled, injures the hip, messed up his nose a little bit, out for a few games, when he could have just thrown the ball away. We would have won.
Out for the rest of the season, that was the end of his career right there. So,
Yep. So Tua is injury prone, and I didn't like people labeling him injury prone because I wanted to just kind of see him overcome everything, but he is injury prone, and something like this will happen again, regardless of what type of helmet he's wearing.
Yep. I agree with this one, Mike. I think he would have another career outside of this for sure.
Yep.
And then you kind of look at the money that he's already got part of his guaranteed, I think.
Yes. Yeah.
So 43, which has already been paid out. So
he got 43 this year.
Yeah. So the remaining 124, if he's cleared to return to football, but then he retires, he forgoes it. If he's medically forced into retirement, then he has a right to collect the 124. And that's not the important part of this. We're just saying that just so people can kind of understand what his options are and like where he would be, if he did decide to retire. So
so he got $43 million this year from the contract, and like Herb said, if he's medically forced to retire, he'll get another $124 million. And again, to Herb's point, that's just from the financial standpoint of everything. But knowing Tua and knowing the competitor that he is, he's going to want to play again. And I think if he does play again, it's just going to be so nerve-wracking to watch. I mean, you can't sit up here and tell a defender not to tackle that guy too hard. I mean, they're still going to do their job too. And I don't know how Tua really avoids getting hurt again. That's my question. I just don't see that happening. So.
And that would be your worry for him too, as well. So Garoppolo, because but Garoppolo, I believe he has to serve a 2-game suspension the second he steps on the field anyway. So
that's why I mentioned Tannehill's out there. And again, Tom Brady, you give Tom Brady the ball. I guarantee you, Tom Brady is still throwing the football around, whether it's with his son or whatever. He's still out there staying in shape. You give him the ball, and you got Tyreek, Waddle. Yes, I know we have Odell Beckham. I don't mention his name a lot.
I forgot he was on there.
We still got the deep running back room, so you've got an offense to work with.
Sorry, I'm trying to catch up. So if he did retire, when he come back, I could easily see this. As young as he is, leaving the game for a couple of years and then coming back, I could easily see that, unfortunately. And I'll be honest, if I was in his position, I'd probably say the same thing. Let me get back out there. Does that make it the right decision? No. When you're young, you think you're invulnerable. So I could easily see that. And here's some good insight here when you talk about the Guardian Caps. They won't do much, if anything, to prevent violence. So, there's no real help here. So. And Cap for Life, I see your comments. I don't know if I can get all of them in there. So it's like,
he's
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know which one of them I guess is the most relevant. People checking out in the game. I mean, that game was pretty much over before he got hurt. So that was kind of just a terrible throwaway game. So
I was just hoping we get the first round.
I don't get this. If this young man goes back, like I don't know if this is you're saying personally us.
I think he's referring to the Miami Dolphins organization. If they let him go back out on the field, then they're complicit and it's on them. We don't have any control over it. So
let's be honest. The owners are going to try to get back out there. They want to recoup their money somehow. This team is built for him. Does that make it the best thing? Obviously not. and I don't know anybody that's gonna agree with that. So here's some good insight from Randy.
Yeah.
Randy says gonna stay up, so Guardian Caps won't help that at all. Yeah. So then basically you're saying Tua set up to have this happen again.
Yeah.
And it's
I'm saying I don't want this to happen again, but with the style of football that he plays, he's going to get injured again, regardless of wearing the Guardian cap or not. He's going to get hurt again in some form or fashion. And then everybody's going to be looking around, oh, they shouldn't have let him play, etc. So that's why, in my opinion, I say, listen, man, save your money. You got paid. You made it to the NFL. Right. You achieved that dream. Save your money. You got a kid, a little kid now, wife, etc. Time to move on. You got to figure out something. Maybe you can. I'm sure you can get a job within the organization doing something or whatever the case may be. But you got to think about long-term health.
Yep. And this is And Randy, this I guess the read. So I appreciate you putting that out there. That's what I was thinking. Like once you start getting them, like it's just you're susceptible to that way more. And he had already been kind of like you said, injury prone for other parts of it. Like he's only basically had one
solid
healthy
season.
year since we've known him. So I don't know. I feel like he's at that point where he's gotten that banged up and this continues to happen. I think it will happen again. I would call for him to really, really think about his future here.
Yeah.
If retirement's on the table, it's just on the table. And it's unfortunate. Football's a violent game. I don't know how you avoid it again. Even with all the rules in place to protect quarterbacks, this happened on one of the most random plays you've probably ever seen. That was like a typical play. There was nothing even strange or crazy about that play when it happened. You know what I mean? So I
didn't even realize it was Damar Hamlin that executed the tackle until Bo texted me because he was texting me during the game because Miami was getting their butt whooped. And then he texted me and told me that. I didn't even realize it. I just saw Tua go down and I didn't look at the jersey of Damar Hamlin. I just saw Tua go down. And that was where all my attention was focused on. So,
I don't know all the Flores stuff. I see your stuff, but I don't know. That's kind of not where we're going tonight. And I don't know about the Flores stuff because he's against Tua, so I don't know. And I don't know that that's kind of appropriate.
I'm confused on Cap for life, but thank you for joining us. So
so anything else, Rodg? I guess like it's hard to say. I would say this: if he's out there, you guys said your next game's not
September 22nd because we played Sunday, we played last night, obviously. So we don't play again until September 22nd, and that's at Seattle. Of course, you go for concussion protocol and all that stuff, but he doesn't need to play anymore.
Right.
You lived out your dream, you made some money. It is what it is, but it's time for him to move on. And with that being said, the Dolphin, and I'm pretty sure the Dolphin, once he got hurt last night, the organization has to start thinking about the future. So that's why I mentioned the names like Tannehill, Tom Brady, whoever it is out there that's available, that they're going to have to get somebody else because Skylar Thompson's not going to do the job. And again, the team is built to win now this year. My expectations that I told you, Herb this several times, was that we can at least make it to the second round of the playoffs, and then maybe next year we'll go forward, a little more forward with that. But now, if Skylar Thompson starts out the rest of the games, we're going to be the bottom of the barrel of the AFC East. Maybe third. I'd say give us third. We can beat New England still, but we're not winning the division. We're not winning a wild card. We're not going to the playoffs.
This is just cruel, Brian. Now
I'm not.
Mean,
no,
so.
Very funny, Brian.
Yep.
And
to Randy's point on his last comment, there is no way to protect a player like Tua, and I agree with that wholeheartedly. So I don't know where. I don't know. There's just two avenues at play here: the football part of it and the personal part. And I know the way football's goes, it's kind of the owners think different way than what the players do. But I think it's on Tua to kind of protect himself at this point. So no, trading for Justin Fields. No. The Steelers, I don't even. First off, like trading for Russell Wilson, he's only making $1 million this year, so that's actually an easy trade. I just don't see it. You got to figure out what you're going to do with your future, whoever you go after. So I'd rather have Fields than Wilson, honestly. But I don't know if you trade for either one because both of them can probably be had at the end of the year for.
Yep.
So. Cap, I don't even get where you're getting at on some of this stuff. Like trying to justify what happened. It's like you're mad that he went after Flores and so he deserves a concussion. Like, I don't get it.
Maybe this is Brian Flores, but his name is just Cap for life. I don't know. If it is Brian Flores,
exactly what they deserve. Like, man, you're on the wrong show.
Yeah.
Like, if you're thinking that you want to come in here and say Tua got what he deserved, you're on the wrong show, man. Just
that's kind
of elsewhere. Like, go talk to someone else. We're good
weird.
with that. So, wishing a concussion on anyway is just bad business. I don't even understand what you're talking about. So, Mike, I missed who you were talking about the active roster. So.
I did think about Mac Jones too. He's sitting there in Jacksonville. He's from Florida. That would be interesting. It would be interesting. And again, he's played with Waddle. He knows Waddle. And you're only asking a quarterback to come in here and
get rid of the ball. Just go somewhere else, bro. Like, we're good. We're good. Like, if that's your whole agenda over here, we're good. We appreciate you, man. We're good. So
they just need a quarterback to come in and help them just get rid of the ball. So that's good. That's all. So. Yeah, I just wanted to get my 2 cents in and let everybody know how I felt about the situation. I wanted to take some time in to kind of get all the information in, kind of figure out what exactly I wanted to say. But, it is what it is. Tua's, one of my favorite Alabama quarterbacks. I was so happy when he got drafted to the Dolphins. But at this point, I think it's time to just hang up the cleats.
I think so too. Unfortunately, it'd be interesting. Well, interesting, not the right word. I don't know where it's going to go from here, so we'll kind of see. Yeah, I didn't know about Garoppolo. I didn't know if it was being active or being on a roster. I thought he had to be on a roster, so I don't know. So, and Kat, good to see you.
Shout out to Kat. Appreciate you.
It was happier circumstances, of course, but always good to see you. So, all right, Raj. Any final Final thoughts before we head out of here?
No, man. No, just excited about the game. I guess the Alabama game tomorrow. Looking forward to that. Looking forward to watch some of that game. And Roll Tide. Hope we win, and I know we will. So we'll take care of business.
Appreciate it, Raj. Thank you very much. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Joining in real quick. Raj needed a few minutes to kind of vent and talk about what's going on, man. So, Raj, hope you have a wonderful night, man. And
you too, man.
Tomorrow. Everyone have a great night. Appreciate you guys for tuning in.
Roll Tide.